HTTV with Inlouth and Gregory here today to discuss the new away ticket prioritisation system. Delighted to be joined by Commercial Director Sean Jarvis and our Ticket Office Manager Sue Beaumont.
There are a lot of considerations that the club need to take into effect with regards to the ticketing priority. I think we have taken our time. It's been a long, drawn-out process. We have looked at how other clubs do it. We've then investigated a number of different options, even around the world, through other clubs outside of football, how they organise their priority schemes. We then also look at the technology that we have, the records that we've got, the information that we have here at the football club. We then start to consider it as a board and members of the team, the ticket office team, on how we should implement this. We then also speak to the Altogether Town panel and take their sort of soundings, if you like. So it's not one that you can rush into. I know it's an incredibly emotive subject for the fan base, and I think we've got to try and get this decision right. And I'm certain that some people will be happy, and I'm certain some will have more questions, or some will be a little bit uncomfortable with it. However, we believe this to be the fairest system that we could do, taking into account all those considerations that we have here at Huddersfield Town Football Club.
You can see immediately, Sue, and you're on the front line, you're speaking to fans every day about ticketing issues. I'm sure people will be looking at this in detail tonight and thinking, well, I'm not priority one, maybe you're not priority two. Am I ever going to get a ticket? And I thought an interesting thing we talked about off camera with regards to Manchester City last season was particularly pertinent to those people.
Certainly, the priority system from last year, Priority 1 supporters only took up around 700 tickets in the first tranche of sale. So that was quite interesting, and we looked at that when we were looking at the priority for this season. And I think it's fair to say that there will be people who are disappointed. However, unfortunately, we don't get the huge number of tickets that we could probably use. However, having said that, there are fixtures that fall on Monday nights, on strange days for Huddersfield Town, and I think it'll be interesting to see the take-up, because obviously we are televised as well, so that's going to have an effect, but we do appreciate that people do want to go and watch the Premier League fixtures.
I think another point that's interesting to say is the general theory behind what we've done here with the away ticket prioritisation. We want to reward season card holders, and particularly ones that have been season card holders for a long time, and that was something that came strongly out of the Altogether Town meeting, where this was the key. Equally, we're acutely aware that there are fans who have put a lot of effort into making sure they can go to away games, whether it's through Terry on Tour last season, through Blue and White Foundation membership, whatever it might be, patrons membership. We've tried to cater for those guys as much as the people who just come to home games, haven't we?
Yeah, the difficulty is shoehorning 20,000 fans into 2,000 tickets. It's kind of, how do you do that? And I think bottom line is you've got to look at who are the most loyal customers in our period of time of being in charge. I guess the Dean Hoyle era. So, you know, that argument is those 10-year season card holders. So you've got to look at them with their priority first. You know, they're the people who have supported the club through that period of time. You acknowledge the people that travelled away as well, of course, with the Terrys on Tour and the support of the Blue and White Foundation and all those parts and aspects of the club. But I think the priority starts with those 10-year season card holders. They're the ones that have been behind the club at over that decade. So for us, that's the starting point, I think, for the club.
Another new element for the away ticket prioritisation for Huddersfield Town is the ballot that we've talked about as well. So there's going to be a percentage of tickets taken for a ballot process. If you can, Sue, just explain the kind of process and the thought process behind that. That's something equally that came quite strongly out of ATT.
Yes, ATT were very keen on this, and we do appreciate it as well, because it's a way of new supporters coming in and going to watch the club away from home, which is how the people in Priority 1 first started, and they, you know, drew on their experience from doing that to get to be Priority 1. So this percentage of tickets will be used in a fair way, we hope, and we'll be able to deal with people who apply from abroad, who are coming over from Australia. We have a lot of season card holders in Australia who may not have been for 10 years, but they are hoping to come and watch Huddersfield Town in the Premier League away from home. So it will give them an opportunity. The exact process for the ballot we are working on at the moment, and that will be announced as soon as we have it available. And I suspect it will be via an emailing system similar to the way we used Ticket Trade last year, which was relatively successful, I think. So we're looking along those lines, but details will be announced later.
I think that's just important to reiterate, Sean, that becoming a football fan, there's no doubt Huddersfield Town's going to have a new audience this year. We're seeing the season card holdership shoot up again. I remember my first away game. That's all part of becoming a fan and becoming to love your club, isn't it? I'm sure, without naming the precise game and stuff, that you'll remember your first away game strongly too.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's something we've got to recognise. You know, that we've gone from 15,000 fans to 20,000 fans now next season. So I think you've got to give those people who are new to the football club that opportunity. So the ballot system, I think, is the fairest way to do that, and I think we'll monitor it. We'll keep our eye on it. We're going to look at this system. We're going to look at how we do it over the next few weeks and months, and continue to review it as we always do. But I think the ballot system is a fair way to allow those potential new supporters to go to an away game.
Just finally, and this is a little bit away from the specifics of the away tickets, but along with that today, we've also broached the subject of a ticket exchange system. Obviously, having 20,000 plus season card holders is a new thing for all of us, Sue, yourself included, and we're going to try and find the best way that season card holders who can't make it to a specific home game can free their ticket up to give another fan an opportunity to watch us play.
Yes, absolutely. Most Premier League clubs do operate some sort of exchange scheme. We are looking at all the details at the moment. We are having the system checked out and sorted out on Tuesday of next week, and again, full details of how the exchange is going to operate will be announced as soon as we have the nitty-gritty, if you like, and we can tell you a little bit more about how it's going to work. But we want to make sure that as many fans as possible can come to the games, and we don't want empty seats in the stadium. That's a priority.
Yeah, do you know, it's still kind of sinking in, I believe, you know, getting into the Premier League. So I think for us, having now this army of supporters that back the club, it's fantastic. It's very emotive, is travelling away, and we'll look to cater for those people who can't. You know, we've got the training ground, PPG Canal side, where when we went to Sheffield Wednesday, you know, people could go down there and watch the games. We'll investigate things like that as well, and I know the team down there are looking at options on what we can do. So hopefully we'll have some further information of that. But yeah, let's not forget where we are. This is going to be one hell of a season, so let's enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to it myself.